Hello, everybody. It is I, the Great Clement, as always, with my favorite co-host.
Favorite?
That's right, you're my favorite co-host.
Aww.
I don't have many, though, so it's not much competition. But you're my favorite regardless.
I'm better than Johnny?
That's right. Take that, Johnny. He's not listening
finally.
to this. But welcome, everyone. It is September 17th as of this recording. It's probably going to be uploaded 4 days later. I should mention at the start, because I haven't done this yet with these podcasts, we are now on Spotify. We are now on Apple Podcasts. We are now on a whole bunch of listening devices. So if you go into the description of this video that you're watching right now and you don't want to watch us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify and then take us with you down the subway or, you know, whatever road trip you're taking so that you have something to listen to. I don't know. So again, we're on Spotify. It's a great listen. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the podcast. But Caro, it has been a busy month for us. Good Lord.
Oh my goodness, yes. There's been tons going on, which is why we haven't been able to get together to record Sue Square. At least for me, the past few weeks have been very hectic. Not in a bad way, but, you know, there's just been a lot going on.
I remember at the start of the podcast, I remember thinking, like, we might get one out every single month, but like the Final Fantasy retrospective, that feels like a promise that can't be kept all the time because of our busy lives, and who knows what's going to happen to us that, you know, we might just be busy. We might have to do this. We might have to do that. We might have to do this. Or maybe we just have nothing interesting to talk about for a while because it's a slow news month, you know? So I feel like we will be pumping out podcasts as often as we can when we feel like we have things to talk about. It may not be a monthly experience, but, you know, if you don't get a podcast next October, we'll be back in November, December, around there, you know.
Or never.
This is the final podcast. It's a end of an era.
At the end of this recording, a meteor's going to crash into my house.
Oh, Jesus.
No, yeah, that's the end of C Squared.
And only your house. It's the only part of the whole world that's going to be destroyed.
Yep, just my house. The other houses around me will stay intact, but just my house and just my room.
Yeah, he'll go right through your window, right onto you, and you will explode. And you'll catch on fire. But actually, your room will be intact. Your room will be absolutely fine.
Speaking of things that are going to get destroyed, Clement, I heard that you had to get a new phone.
That's right. I had to replace my 10-year-old phone. So, again, we've established in the first podcast that I'm a bit of a fossil. I'm a bit of a dinosaur. I've had a Samsung Galaxy ever since 2011. 2011. And I've been using that phone this whole entire time to get, like, text messages, to call people, to surf the internet, as well as, like, enable my two-step verification for all of my passwords and whatnot. And that phone has gone through a lot of wear and tear. Like, I have dropped it a lot, you know? It has fallen, it has cracked its window. Like, the window of the Samsung Galaxy is just all cracked. And it was still working just fine, but it wasn't pristine, it wasn't clean. I didn't put a case on it for a good long chunk amount of time, unfortunately. But, you know, it still lasted me a good 10 years at this point. I got it in 2011. It is 2021. I had it for 10 years. Holy shit.
That's like forever in technology speak. I've only had my phone for 2 years, and maybe the longest amount of time I had one was like 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 4 years, definitely 3.
I saw apps, like, no longer support the format after a while. Like, at first, I could use Twitter. At first, I could use Facebook on this phone. And then, I guess they updated their websites or updated their stuff because I could not connect to Twitter on my Samsung Galaxy anymore. So, I assume they were just saving it for a lot of the newer versions of Galaxy, a lot of the smarter phones, if that's a term. And yeah, again, that didn't really bother me because I don't really use the internet on my phone all that much. If I'm going to be using the internet, it's through my computers.
Which is such a fossil thing to do, Clemens. Because I'm younger, so I have my phone on me pretty much 24/7, and, like, I could send Clement a text message very quickly, but because of the way he uses the internet, he may not get back to me till, like, a few hours later, and I'm like, Clement, why won't you respond to my text messages faster?
I don't like being plugged in all the time. I find it, like, zombie-like.
I get that, though, yeah.
You know, sometimes I go into a restaurant or somewhere and I just see people constantly looking at their phones all the time, you know? They're just always looking at their phones, texting people when they're literally with their family, with their friends or whatever, and I don't want to be that guy. If I'm in public with other people, I want to give them my undivided attention. I want to be aware of everything that's going around. I want to look around. I want to see the sights. I want to smell the air. I want to experience life! I don't want to just glue my face to it. I want to, like, enjoy my life and do other things, because I feel like the more time you spend on social media, the more depressed you'll be.
Damn straight.
The more of an anxious, neurotic mess you're going to be, because you're just constantly watching a wave of negativity wash over you, and oh, by the way, this forest is on fire. Oh, by the way, these asshole politicians did something horrible. Oh, by the way, this woman had a horrible traumatic experience. Oh, by the way, it's like, oh my god, you get beamed with negative energy, negative information all the freaking time that, like, we as human beings were not meant to withstand this much, like, pain and trauma, you know?
Nope.
Like, back in the 90s and 80s, you know, if you wanted to look up that stuff, you watched the news, you read the newspaper, but now it's just, like, part of everything, because if you want to talk to your friends on Twitter, they have this trending topic sidebar that's always reminding you, hey, guess what? The friggin' British Columbia is on fire. Did you know that?
Guess what? So did you know that the CDC found that masks are very, very useful in preventing serious illness? No shit. No shit, masks are useful. Come on.
I have been seeing that trending topic so many times, and every time I roll my eyes being like, no shit! No shit! We've been saying that all this time. We are 2 years into this pandemic. Of course masks help. Good God.
Mm-hmm.
Which also, by the way, I actually installed an app onto my web browser to get rid of that sidebar, because I realized it was doing me more harm than good, because it just felt like Twitter would be a fun website to chat with my friends and see what they're talking about, but every time I go on, I look to the right, and there's always some trending topic that just makes me lose hope in humanity, you know? Makes me feel bad about myself, and I just go, no, and then I just feel bad for the rest of the day because I'm thinking about all this horrible shit. But ever since I installed that app and I got rid of the sidebar, all I see is the feed. All I see are my notifications. I don't know what's trending on Twitter anymore, and I don't care. I am happy if I don't have to hear about, like, Jake Paul or some other bullshit popping up in my feed anymore. I don't care. All I am seeing are my friends being happy, being chummy, and some major news stories are gonna break through. I'm gonna see something every now and then when my friends talk about it. But, God, it just feels so liberating not have to worry about another horrible event that's happening in the world. Thank God.
Also, that's more time for you to look at my beautiful pictures and selfies. Just saying.
That's right. I have been watching your Twitter feed a little more often than usual, I'm not gonna lie.
Aw, that's so wholesome.
Because I'm not dreading the idea of hopping on Twitter. But, yeah, I got a new Samsung Galaxy. It is an update to the last one. It's a lot wider, which is not great because, like, it doesn't fit entirely in my pocket.
Those are what smartphones are like now, Clements. They are wider.
I know, I hate it. Because, like, it used to fit perfectly in the pocket, and now it's always hanging out a little bit. It's always out a tad. So if I don't have a lawn shirt covering it up, protecting it from, I don't know, potential rain when I'm walking out down the street, then that's not good. That's not good at all. It gets in the way of, like, my wallet and everything else I'm keeping in those pants. I don't carry a purse.
You should invest in a purse. or a fanny pack. Those are back in style again for some reason.
I suppose. I've never been one to keep up with the trends, though. But the phone works, two-step verification works. I've been texting my friends and calling my friends, and everything's hunky-dory. I can now use Twitter and Discord in case the internet goes out at home. So if I ever need to contact someone, I can finally go back on those apps since it's no longer outdated. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I am still a dinosaur. I'm still a fossil. I'll probably be keeping this phone until 2031.
Oh, jeez.
Don't think I'll be updating for a while. So,
Also, you can watch YouTube videos on your phone.
And Netflix. There's a Netflix app, too.
Mm-hmm.
I could watch videos on it, but I don't wanna. It's like, it reminds me of when the 3DS had Netflix, and I'm just like, who wants to watch movies on the 3DS? Really? That tiny screen? If I'm gonna watch a Netflix television show or a movie, I want to watch it in my living room when I'm comfortable with the big screen.
You're still probably gonna, download MP3 files on your PSP, though, right?
My PSP still works, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I am still listening to music and or podcasts on that PSP. And until it breaks down, hell, even if it breaks down, you know what? I'll probably track down another PSP on eBay.
Really?
I don't care. I don't care.
Good lord.
I should mention that earlier this month, I announced officially on my Twitter that Steambot Chronicles will be the final Let's Play. And I am going to be making a more in-depth video about this when Steambot Chronicles ends. In fact, I've already started writing the script for that.
Ooh.
So that's a small little video that'll be popping up when Steambot's over. Basically, long story short, in case you don't want to watch that, or in case you want some kind of update to understand why, I've been doing Let's Play since 2008. It is a major hassle that has been getting in the way of my life, where I'm constantly editing things, constantly doing commentary, constantly rewatching the videos to make sure they're, squeaky clean and they're ready to upload. And I have taken a lot of time just uploading part after part after part after part of all these different playthroughs. And I find doing the Final Fantasy retrospective was a breath of fresh air because I could take it at my own pace because I wasn't constantly working every single hour. And they're just creatively more satisfying. The views are great. I enjoy the final product. I've been rewatching the Final Fantasy vids more than I do the Let's Plays. And I'm just proud of that stuff more. And it just felt like when Steambot was in the middle, if you watch Steambot right now, you're going to check my channel. The newest videos have barely 2,000 views, if that. I feel like they're at 1,500 or something. And for a guy who has 100,000 subscribers, it doesn't really instill the greatest confidence that my audience really care about the Let's Plays anymore when no one's watching it. And it was always something I've been building towards for the last 2 years. It's always something I've wanted to make that push for. I've always wanted to make that transition, but I felt like with Steambot, this was a game that was a labor of love for me. I really wanted to show off this great, underrated PS2 gem. And the fact that nobody's watching it and nobody really gave it a chance, I was like, okay, I think this is a good moment. This is a good time to move on and do every single video next as if they were the Final Fantasy retrospective. There's going to be differences in formats and differences in the topics I talk about. It's not all Final Fantasy or anything. It's I have topics of I want to talk about Tekken lore because I love Tekken. I want to talk about why Life is Strange's ending, the original game, was so good, and I still like that ending a lot. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about Star Fox Zero and why it sucks. And, I have so many topics on the horizon. I have so many topics that are in my notepad ready for me to talk about. But, yeah, I think I'm done with Let's Play, and I think I'm good to move on at long last.
And like, we've talked about this a lot, not just like this, summer, but the past couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do at the end is you. And I think, like, y'all don't understand how hard Clement works on his videos. Like, he does so much and puts so much thought into scripting and editing. And it isn't just like a Clement exclusive thing, it's like content creators in general. Like, I always get peeved when someone online's like, where's the next video? When's this coming out? Because it's a time consuming thing. They don't just edit the video and they're like, oh, I'll upload it. Like, there's a lot that goes into video content on YouTube, especially for Let's Plays, where you have to talk about every single little detail in the game, And I think, like how you're doing your Final Fantasy videos, like, I know you have to play through the entire game, obviously, to make the video, but at least you're not, recording every single part of Final Fantasy VII, for example. That's just the first thing that popped into my head. Like, at least you're not recording every single little instance of that game and having to worry about being perfect or or exhibiting, like, a great job on that, versus your actual 7 video where you only talked about, like, the plot and the things that you liked and the music, So I think, like, the video essays that you've been making where you talk about these games in a larger, broader sense, I think it'll give you more creative freedom in terms of what you actually want to talk about versus you having to worry about being a perfectionist and trying to get everything right on the first try.
I'm glad you actually brought that up. There was a perfectionist fatigue going on with my Let's Plays, where it's true, with Steambot Chronicles especially, like, this is probably one of the longest Let's Plays I've ever done. We're approaching part 40 as we do this podcast right now, and I have to script out on a notepad that, like, okay, I have to talk to this person, I have to do this, 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 in this one city, in this one video, just because I'm trying to tackle every single side quest I can, and I'm trying to show off the whole entire game. And if you're just casually playing a game for the first time, you're not thinking about all these things. You're just exploring the world, you're just talking to whoever you want, you're just, like, enjoying the game. And the thing that's stressful about doing a Steambot is, like, I will make a whole bunch of notes and checklists of things I gotta do in this particular part, and it's sometimes it's not easy to enjoy that because I'm just too stressed out about, like, I gotta show this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, so I can't screw this up, I can't rush through the dialogue, I can't walk slowly, because I don't want to waste the viewer's time. I want the viewer to be entertained, and I want it to be a good pace. I want this whole thing to be smooth sailing. And, I don't think about that with Final Fantasy. With Final Fantasy, I just talk to whatever NPC I want when I'm recording. I just move at whatever rate I want. I just play the game because I know I'm going to be editing it down in short chunks and just talking about what I want to talk about. So it doesn't really matter if I'm a perfectionist in this one particular battle. It doesn't matter if I show off this one little thing. Like, obviously, major things I want to talk about, but that's just part of the game experience. But doing Let's Plays has always been kind of a stressful thing where, I'm always trying to get that one moment just right. Like, there was a moment in The Bouncer, actually, where I had to record this one animation with these dog enemies because they have this hilarious thing where the guys triple team a dog. like the one guy gets the dog in a fucking neck hold, a dog, which is amazing. But the first time I recorded that, the dog enemies got killed too quickly. And I was like, shit. So I reload the save because I gotta show this off, and I do it again. Dog dies too quickly again. I'm like, fuck. Reload it again. Dog dies too quickly again. Fuck! Die again. Finally got it. And then I just felt like I was getting my ass kicked too much in that one particular fight, so I wasn't happy with it. And then I wanted to do it all over again. And so that's what goes into the Let's Play sometimes, where I want that run to be so good, and I want it to look so presentable, and I want to be able to talk about the things I want to talk about, but I feel like I'm just busting my ass too much just to show this one thing I think is pretty amusing. And at least with the scripted stuff, I won't be stressing out about that too much. And,
Plus, you have like a wider variety of like viewpoints you could tackle on something. So, like, you don't have to play through all the Tekken games, but if you're making a video focusing on Tekken lore and specifically, like, you just look into that story. Like, you wouldn't have to worry about getting, perfect, I guess, matches in every single game,
I don't have to beat arcade mode with every single fighter, let's say.
Nope.
And also, it's just like, it's such a hassle to constantly have to do commentary and edit and listen back and all the time. Like, I feel like a lot of my mornings and a lot of my afternoons are just taken up by constant commentary, constant editing, constant rewatching just to make sure the video's fine. I have rewatched every single Let's Play I've ever posted just to make sure that it was good to go before I uploaded. I've prided myself on that. And, that takes like 2-3 hours per part, honestly. And considering when I had bad internet before, when my internet was really, really slow, that even was a long, tedious process because, like, just the upload rate would be like an hour, 2 hours too. And when you're uploading something to YouTube, at least for me, my internet, like, everything else is slowed down. Like, even videos take a long time to load if you're uploading at the same time. So I would, like, cripple my internet every time I was doing that. And, it was something that was always getting in the way of my life. There were things I wanted to do, but I was like, well, I gotta dedicate 3 hours to making this Let's Play, so I can't do this thing. I wanted to do this, but, I gotta do 3 hours of this Let's Play. And then, I felt like with the Final Fantasy retrospective, at least, I could take time to make the script, take time to edit, and then just live the rest of the day, because I didn't have to worry about this being on a deadline, and I had to worry about it being uploaded today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, there was a pressure to get Final Fantasy out, but it wasn't, like, huge pressure of, like, they're expecting it today. I need to have 3 a week. What are you doing? Why isn't it up by Monday? So that's something I'm also looking forward to just being done with. Thank God. It's exhausting. I feel like I had a good run. I feel like I've been doing this since 2008. Like, Cool World was the first LP I ever did. And I did every fucking Sonic game,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I must have done 100 games at this point. With all the Mega Man and the Sonics and the miscellaneous. I must have done 100 Let's Plays, Christ.
Someone on the TV Tropes page is keeping track. And yes, I do look at TV Tropes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you have your own TV Tropes page, Carol?
No, but I am mentioned on your TV Tropes page a few times.
Ooh. I've never glanced at my own TV Tropes page. I feel like I would die of embarrassment.
It's not bad. I think it's wholesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
They make fun of my tics. So they make fun of my but I digresses and
your hunky-dories and your until next time tootling.
Hunky-dory toodles. But yeah, again, I will make another detailed video about this that'll be tightly scripted and with visuals, and it's going to be a big announcement for the people who aren't watching the podcast, you jerks. And yeah, I just wanted it out there. I'm done Let's Play. Steambot will be the final one, and this does include Mega Man and Sonic. When Mega Man 12, Mega Man X9, whenever that game comes out, and there will be another one, there will be. I will do a video on it, but I just don't think I'm in the mood to do a Let's Play, so.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, things could change. I feel like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, who knows how I'll feel. Maybe I'll want to go back to it for some reason. But for now, I just don't want to do it. I think I'm just done.
I think you're justified in your decision. As long as you're happy. Then we got you.
Cool. And when I was happiest this year?
When?
At the tail end of August, when on August 23rd, I went to Toronto, and I met up with someone who's pretty frickin' sweet.
Who'd you meet up with? Did you meet up with Scott Pilgrim? Why didn't you tell me? I wanted his autograph.
Let me tell you about my friend Carl. Carl is the coolest person ever. Oh my god. Loves their coffee lattes. Carl is the best.
And Carl, also known as me, also went up to Toronto because, so I haven't been to Canada since 2019, and obviously when the pandemic happened, the border closed.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, COVID's around, you don't want transmissions across countries, totally understandable, you know.
We've made it a habit to meet each other pretty much every single year.
2017 was when we first met up.
Yeah. And we were going to do it again in 2020, but then, nope, sorry, pandemic, coronavirus can't let you do that, Star Fox.
Nope. So, yeah, so the border closed for basically a year and a half until the end of July, where I'm just on Twitter, and I see this post. I check the border openings, like, monthly, because they basically update the guidelines every month, so I've been checking monthly at least since the end of last year, because I knew that, like, the border wasn't going to open through 2020, except for that. Maybe 2021 when vaccines were coming in, so anyway, so I'm checking, and they're like, hey, the border's going to open to fully vaccinated US citizens, starting August 9th, and I'm like, oh, shit, wait, yes! So I was pretty happy at the news. I don't know how the Delta variant is going to keep that open. I have no idea. But in terms of travel, I decided to leave the US on August 23rd because that was when all my summer programs were ending, and I had like a bit of a vacation before Labor Day. So I went up there, and it wasn't too bad getting up there. I needed a negative COVID test 3 days before my departure, and I also obviously needed my vaccination card on me. Like, they didn't want a copy, they wanted like the literal card to present to the gate agent. As comments can tell you, getting those papers really stressful.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, because like I was so worried that like the plane was gonna get delayed, but my flight gets delayed. I took my test like literally 68 hours before, you know, departure. There was a hurricane literally coming to the Northeast, like, the day before, and I was freaking out. Right.
I forgot about that. We were worried the plane might not even be able to fly that day, and I was like, shit!
Mm-hmm. But, the hurricane took a, like, further eastern track, like, literally the last minute, so my flight was fine, it wasn't canceled or anything, so I was able to get through to, like, Toronto. I'd never flown to Toronto. I'd always taken the bus. But because the bus routes were gone, like, Greyhound Canada is gone because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Our bus lines have been very much restructured, rearranged. Like, even just going to Toronto, I had to arrive at a different spot and leave from a different spot because they just completely reshuffled everything.
Yeah, so all the bus routes I usually took were, like, canceled, and I had to fly over. Honestly, Clement, I like flying to Toronto. I like flying to Canada. I might do that from now on.
Yeah?
It's quicker, it's more comfortable. I'm pretty sure the prices would be cheaper normally if we weren't in pandemic times. I'm pretty sure the prices would be much cheaper. So I'm willing to shell out the extra money to get there in 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so the flight was fine. I got off. I presented the border agent in Canada with my stuff. You know. It was good.
You gotta talk about how, like, everyone else was unprepared for this.
Yes! So, like, I'm at my gate, and, like, when I was buying the ticket to go to Toronto, like, literally every single page that I had to scroll through, like, when putting in my credit card information and entering my travel details, they were like, hey, so just so you know, you need a physical copy of your Vax card, and you need a negative COVID test before you fly. Do you comply with these regulations? And they ask you that, like, 2 or 3 times when you're going through checkout. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then, like, some people, like, didn't bring their card. Someone wasn't fully vaxxed.
What did you think was gonna happen?
So I'm presenting my documents to the gate agent, and he's like, wow, you are really prepared for this. And I'm like, yeah, because I haven't seen Clement in, like, 2 years. When I messed it up.
You batted your eyelashes and you went, ah, shucks, go on.
But yeah, like, honestly, getting to Canada was more stressful than leaving. I'll get into that later as we talk more about the trip, but I cleared through border customs with no problem, and then it was just like a train ride into Toronto. And it was really hot that day, so I was actually telling Clement, go meet me at City Hall, because I cannot for the life of me get this luggage all the way to where we're staying.
Oh yeah, it was a friggin' furnace over there, good lord.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember getting off the bus, because I bussed to Toronto myself, and I got all my luggage, and I have to walk a good 10-15 minutes just to get to the hotel. And I'm wearing a sports jacket because, you know, I couldn't fit it in the luggage. I figured I'd just wear it as a coat. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because, like, I get there and it's just so freaking hot, you know? I'm just sweating. I had to take a break at all these different benches. And I've been walking around, like, all year. It's not like I'm out of shape or unfit or anything. It's just, it was so hot that I just had to keep taking periodic breaks every now and then because it was just getting to me too much. And I was just like, holy shit. Lifting this big box around with my PlayStation in it because, you know, gotta watch Blu-rays, obviously. And holy Moses. But I feel like when I got to the actual hotel clerk that day, I was just like a bucket of sweat, just being like, hi, I'm Jamie Clement, looking for a room. Whew. But then I got in the room and it was air conditioned and I'm just like, oh, thank you. Oh, God. It got better after the initial arrival because, you know, I wasn't wearing the jacket and I wasn't moving luggage around all the time. But yeah, it was definitely a hot week. Definitely a hot week.
But yeah, that trip was fucking amazing. That is legit the happiest I've been since, like, the pandemic started.
For sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been into big society in a long time since the pandemic started. So it was kind of jarring having to, like, wear a mask for such long periods of time because, like, I still wear a mask when I'm in my small town and I still wear it whenever I go to the grocery store and whatnot. But the thing is, I live in a forest town. I live in a very small, you know, close-knit community, and it is just not that big of a deal when I can just, like, leave the grocery store and then take my mask off when I'm just going around the park because I don't have to worry about COVID at the park. And, you know, I slap it back on when I'm heading home, and then it's not that big of a deal. It's nothing crazy. But when you're in Toronto, it's so much distance just to get from place to place. Like, if I want to go from the hotel to the pier to Pizza to this place to that place, you got to walk a long time, despite how many stores are everywhere, you know? And, you know, I don't want to take my mask off when I'm just in the crowds of people.
No.
There are just crowds of people everywhere, and I don't want to take my mask off ever. I want to keep it on for the duration of the whole entire thing. And yeah, it's like, it's hot out, so you're already kind of exhausted just from walking around and doing stuff. I had, like, one mask start falling apart on me.
Yeah.
That I replaced it with another one, because the first mask I was wearing, it was great for, like, the entire year, but then it kept falling off my nose, and it kept falling over here, and I kept having to readjust it, and it was just like, oh my god. It's exhausting living in the city.
Yeah, like, I think it's a culture shock for him because, like, I'm used to it every day. I have to wear a mask basically from, like, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. because I work with kids. It's something I got used to after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, aside from that, it was just nice spending time with you again.
We had a lot of great food. Holy moly.
Oh my god, the food.
I really
so
like that
good.
ramen shop we went to.
Yeah. I'm so happy you did. Like, I was looking for ramen shops, and I found this one that was near the hotel. So we went there, and we got tonkatsu ramen. It was just so good. Oh, it made me full.
It was right next to the Kaka store.
Do you want to tell them what Kaka is?
Okay, so I just kept noticing as we were returning to the hotel all that week that we would pass by this one restaurant that was referred to as Kaka, Kaka. just Kaka. And the sign that's part of Kaka is all you can eat. So you have the word Kaka, which can be, used for crap, for poop. So you're thinking of that fantastic image. And then it says, all you can eat, Kaka.
How old am I again?
I don't want to think about how much poop I can eat. I don't want to think about how much shit I can eat. All you can eat, Kaka. Get out of here. No. I don't want that much. I don't want any Kaka. You're gross, God. Toronto. You're gross.
Oh gosh, I love Toronto though. I love that city. It's great.
Yeah.
So much good food. I miss Tim Hortons. I miss poutine. I miss pizza. I realize I'm listing all the fast food places in Toronto. All the fast food Canadian places. But yeah.
Did you enjoy the Bulk Barn?
I did enjoy Bulk Barn. Like, I wish that was a thing in the States, and if it is a thing in the States, then I'm not aware of it. But Bulk Barn is wild. They have so many things. I thought it was just gonna be candy, but they have, like, spices and sugar and, like, what was the other thing? Baking chocolate in bulk? I'm like, what?
Yeah. Basically, you enter the Bulk Barn, and they give you this little plastic baggie, right? And you just go to all the different containers that have like candy and spices and all these different things. Like even just like chocolate chip cookie, like chocolate chips. You can just find like a tray of chocolate chips if you want. And you just put as much as you want in the bag. There's no limit. You just put as much as you want. And then when you get to the counter, you just weigh it on the scales and they pay you for how much it weighs on the scale. Like that's all it is to it. You can just fill the bag with whatever the hell you want and just, okay, it's so-and-so kg, you owe us $5, blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friends always went to Bulk Barn to get candy. Like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
You can just get anything you want. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, friggin' Smarties, friggin' Rockets. Fucking pig out. Get whatever candy you want. Just fill that bag up.
Oh, that breakfast place we went to?
Oh, Egg Smart.
Yeah, Egg Smart.
The pancakes were the best pancakes I've had in the last, 5 years.
Really? Wow.
Oh, I love those pancakes. At least
I tried a bit of them. They were pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first day was, delicious as hell. It's not only was the maple syrup, really, really good, but just, the flour of the actual pancake itself. It was sweet enough, not too sweet, not lacking in anything. It was just, it was heaven. I could have eaten those pancakes, the rest of the week if I wanted.
Well, we did go there a second time with Stefan. FTC.
Yeah, Stefan showed up Friday. Yeah. We played Scott Pilgrim and watched Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Which feels appropriate because in the first C-Squared episode, we saw Mortal Kombat 2021, the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you wanted to see Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Well, we finally saw Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
It's a train wreck.
Suckers!
I could not believe the effects in that movie. Even the Donkey Kong Country TV show had better 3D.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. That's my take right now.
It's just whoa. It's such a downgrade from the original Mortal Kombat, but at the same time, it's so fucking entertaining because something stupid is happening every 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I also want to thank Clement for doing my coffee runs every day.
I'm just amused that they kept calling you Carl.
Yeah, we go to this coffee shop every day, and I'd ask for, either a matcha tea, a taro tea, or latte, or whatever, what I was in the mood for. And they spelled my name Carl every single time, but I even spelled it Caro, Caro, and they still returned it as Carl.
Yes, Carl. No, Caro. Carl. Carl.
We also watched tons of Canadian TV.
Oh my God, yes. Thank you for bringing this up because we had a fantastic time just flipping through the channels and we discovered this show that is border security, Canada's finest. which is just a reality TV show about the Canadian Border Patrol and all of the antics that these guys get up to.
Oh my god. I'm like, this is a show up here?
I didn't even know it existed. I watched Canadian TV and I didn't even know that was a show until we went to that trip. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt so perfect because you just went through Canadian border security yourself.
Yeah, and I was so worried about fucking it up.
And it felt like, I think that's why I started watching it. I think that's why I was like, well, she just came here through the border. This might be entertaining. This might be insightful. Maybe she'll see, maybe it'll be a very relatable experience for her, you know?
Relatable. I don't know about that. What the cases we saw.
Instead, what we got were some really oddball characters. Like, I think that our favorite person on that show there was a street performer going to Canada. And he was like coming from like Germany or something. He was a street performer who was a mime. And already the occupation was kind of weird and kind of funny. We're just like, okay, he's a mime. But then they have to do a background check on him. And they have to find out, like, you know, what his criminal record is and all that stuff. And it turns out that this guy is a sex offender. And
God.
They ask him, like, are you a registered sex offender? He's like, yes, I was exposed myself to a 5-year-old girl. It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Like, damn, that's a jump. That's a jump.
The street performer, oh no. But then it got even crazier because they do a background check again and they contact people. And it turns out he is not only a sex offender, he is a fucking fugitive from America. He is a fugitive on the run who is escaping justice.
Oh my god.
And that whole conversation, the more it kept going, it was just like, wow, what the fuck?
So yeah, they arrested him at the end. They sent him back to the US so that they could arrest him there.
For sure.
And I think the episode ended with the voiceover guy being like, Canadian children will be safe once again, something like that. And I'm just like, wow.
I remember we started laughing immediately because it's supposed to be a reality show and it's supposed to be tackling serious subjects because some of these guys are bringing in contraband and stuff, you know? It's not a pretty picture half the time, but every time the show starts up, there's like this goofy fucking theme song, which is Would I Lie to You by Eurythmics. Would I lie to you? Oh, would I lie to you, honey? Oh, no.
And you listen to this song, you see people getting arrested, and I'm going through drugs, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It was amazing. That's why I love Canadian TV so much. It's so weird and tonally bizarre compared to like any other kind of TV out there. It's just like, yeah, what the hell? This show about like drug dealers and fucking street performer pedophiles and shit. Yeah, let's have the Would I Lie to You? Oh, would I lie to you, honey?
There was one case that saddened me. This one made me sad because like there was this one girl who was studying in Canada, but she didn't like complete her study visa on time. And then they pan to the boyfriend who's in the lobby and he's literally holding a bouquet of flowers for her.
Yeah.
Waiting for her to go through border security. I'm like, oh no, that's sad.
Yeah. I had to turn her away. It's like, oh god.
Yeah.
So if you have Canadian TV, Border Patrol Canada's Finest, look it up. It's quite the show. It's quite the show.
Episodes are on YouTube too. And speaking of TV, like, we did watch tons of wrestling.
Well, yeah, you're going to have your big trip, which we'll get to in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just saying that, like, Toronto was a fantastic trip. There's not too many details we want to be intimate with the general public about, you know. We had a lot of great food. The sights were great. I remember one time we stopped at the pier, like the boardwalk, because that was fantastic. And it's a beautiful city. I always love walking through that place. I always love taking in the sights. I remember we stumbled upon a strip club, and Go figure, in
Yes.
the age of the pandemic, they correctly warned us that they are vaxxed and waxed.
Yeah, you better throw that up there.
Yeah, I got a photo. Vaxxed and
Yes.
waxed. It's my favorite phrase we saw throughout the whole damn trip, because it's good to know that the strippers are not only waxed, but vaxxed. Yeah, vaxxed and waxed.
They are vaxxed. Go get vaxxed.
But Toronto was probably the best I've felt in the last 2 years. It was amazing.
Aww. Same.
And, yeah. I mean, my wallet's a little bit crippled. I lost a lot of money, but, you know, it was totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Aw. That makes my heart full.
And how was getting back to America? Was that fine?
Oh, it was great. It was funny because, so I didn't know this, but in Pearson, there's a section of the airport that's entirely dedicated to U.S. departures, so I had to go through there. So, remember when I printed out the attestation form that basically verified, like, my negative result?
Yes.
For coming back to the States. So when I got to the airport, there was a person who was like, hey, do you have your attestation form? And I was like, yeah, and I just gave it to her. And she was like, okay, go in. And then unlike Canada, which could probably give you a state of how the US is right now, I didn't need to present my negative result at all, which I was so confused by.
Oh, really?
Like, they didn't ask for it. Like, I had it on hand in case, like, the gate agent needed it, but the only thing I needed to submit was the attestation form that says this COVID result that I am, receiving is valid and true. And, yeah. Because, like, I scanned my boarding pass to get on the plane, and the Air Canada people were like, oh, you're good to go. I'm like, I don't need to present my COVID test? And they were like, no, you can get on. I'm like, okay. All right.
I'll take it.
Actually, like, I've never done this before, but I cleared customs before getting on the plane, which I've never done before. So I was in line and the people were like, oh, so if you're a US citizen, you can actually go to the separate line, and like only 5 people got off, including me. So I actually cleared customs much faster than I thought I was going to.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, getting back was fine. I was sad to leave, but, I had exciting things on the horizon for when I got back. Like, I made sure I tested negative and everything, before I flew back. And that's the case for both of us too. Like, we were both safe, we were both fine with masks, like, we both tested after we got back, all safe in doing this.
Yeah.
But when I got back, I had to prep for my AEW All Out weekend trip, which was absolutely amazing. I cannot believe that I was in attendance for All Out. It's incredible.
Yeah, I remember, like, as soon as CM Punk revealed that he was back in wrestling, I was like, oh, this is going to be Kara's best pay-per-view she's ever been to. This is going to be the greatest night of her life. Good Lord. Because, I have to eat my hat. CM Punk is back in wrestling. He did show up in AEW. It isn't a hoax. It isn't a rumor. It actually happened. After 7 long years, CM Punk is wrestling again for All Elite Wrestling. Holy shit.
Yep. Like, I was saying that he would never return to wrestling, and I'm saying this as a big CM Punk fan. And I only said that because I knew how unhappy he was coming out of WWE.
Yeah.
And I felt like unless there was another alternative that was a competitor to WWE that would come around, he would never return. Like, he did the Fox show, but again, he was employed by Fox.
He got paid to criticize WWE.
Yes. He's not in WWE. He got paid to criticize it. Those two are different things.
Uh-huh.
But with CM Punk coming back, that was absolutely wild. I never, ever thought I would see him back in the ring, nor be in attendance for his first match since 2014. Damn, that's a lot to say. That is a lot to say given what he's gone through.
Oh, yeah. I definitely checked out the All Out show because I knew you were going to be there. And I wanted to see if I could spot you in the crowd since I knew you were going to be bringing a special sign. Do you want to reveal what that sign was?
We'll get to that when we go to our next topic, but
Okay.
yeah, so I think it'll be a nice transition. But either way, like, it was the best fucking show I've ever been to. I've been going to wrestling shows forever, and this is by far, without a doubt, the best show I've ever been to.
It was damn good. Like, full disclosure, a lot of people might be wondering, do I watch WWE anymore? I haven't really watched WWE seriously for the last 2-3 years. For the last 3 years, I've just found WWE to be so boring and repetitive, and I have not been invested in the characters at all. And even to the point where, like, at least for the most of the 2010s, I would start tuning in with the Royal Rumble and then watch till WrestleMania, and then I would drop off again like I always do. But even now, even before the pandemic, I feel like, even 2019, I was sort of like, I don't need to watch the Royal Rumble. I don't need to watch WrestleMania. I don't. And I just haven't really been watching WWE at all. And when the pandemic hit especially, and like the crowds went away, it just really wasn't something I was interested in watching. I've just felt very unimpressed with WWE lately. And then AEW came out. And then AEW, I started watching that for the first 5-6 weeks, and that was really, really good. Like, not only was the wrestling impeccable, the personalities were fantastic, the storytelling was actually giving a damn, you know? Like, there were actually payoffs to things, and just like anticipating moments like, oh, I haven't done that with WWE in such a long time.
All in all, I think it's a great alternative to WWE. I watch it every week. I watch it way more than WWE. Because, like, no disrespect to people who watch WWE. That's fine. There are some people that are still in that company that I love, like Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like, you know, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, like, always support them.
Oh, yeah.
But it's too much energy for me to watch it every week when I know that I'm only going to watch for a particular wrestler or a particular segment, and I'm not going to enjoy the rest of the show. People who I follow on Twitter watch Raw anyway. They've watched it for me. Like, I just read their tweets to see what happened. But, yeah. So, I think that's also what makes AEW crowds so passionate, because they get that situation regarding an alternative. They want pro wrestling back, so they're gonna be a pro wrestling crowd.
Yeah.
Which, we were fabulous, right? We were the best crowd.
I love how alive that crowd was for All Out, because they were just into every single segment. Holy shit. Like, it's crazy to me that a Japanese wrestler, Minato Suzuki, can come to the arena and his theme song will play, and the crowd actually knows the theme song even though he's not an AEW regular. Like, that's insane!
Yeah, because, like, a lot of AEW people watch New Japan. Like, those two go hand in hand, Forbidden Door, or you know, Prior, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we're pro wrestling fans. We know who Suzuki is. Like, again, this isn't a knock to WWE, but a lot of their audience tends to, you know, attract families, casual people. Like, people who might check out WWE, people who might like Roman Reigns or The Undertaker or whatever, but they're not going to go out of their way to consume other products of pro wrestling. They're going to watch WWE. And that's what I was, and I don't blame them. That's what I was like for a long time, too. Like, I just watch WWE on a casual basis. But the people who go to AEW shows tend to be pro wrestling fans who check out Impact, New Japan, other independent promotions in the US, like GCW. So they're going to know who he is, and they're going to know the song.
Still, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And, like, one of my favorite moments is, like, the Lucha Bros Young Bucks match.
Oh, that was the best match of the night, easily.
So much fun to watch live, because we were, like, Lucha Bros Young Bucks, including the Steel Cage match, they've had a trilogy of matches in AEW. They can do no wrong, and I am in disbelief how they exceeded their last two matches. Because we were all cero miedoing the Lucha Bros all the time in that match. We were so loud when, I think it was Matt who pulled out the thumbtack shoe.
Yeah.
We were all like, you sick fuck, over and over again.
But for those who don't know, he basically glued a whole bunch of thumbtacks onto a Nike sneaker so that he could, like, just slam it into someone's face and when he kicks them, you know?
So, like, after 20-ish minutes of action, where, like, right from the start of that match, the action just kept going and going and going and going and going. It was amazing. And then when the Lucha Bros won the tag team titles, everyone was on their feet. We were losing our shit. We were so happy for them. I was happy for them because, like, Lucha Bros deserve so much. They're great talents. They're great for Latino representation. So having the tag team titles is just such a great decision. And if the Young Bucks had to lose the titles to someone, I wanted it to be the Lucha Bros.
Yeah. It was crazy, because I just remember thinking, like, God damn, these guys are so bloody, and, like, even the Lucha Bros masks were starting to tear off and, like, tear apart, and I was just like, holy shit. Just the stunts these guys do, the crazy flips and the crazy distances of which they'll fall from the cage and stuff, is just like, holy shit. That was so damn exciting to watch.
I had never seen a steel cage match live before this, so I crossed that off my bucket list. I was like, oh, didn't expect to watch my first steel cage match live tonight, but okay, cool.
How was the arena when CM Punk burst into the room, burst into the scene?
Oh, loud. Loud.
Yeah.
You definitely heard this, but we all sing Cult of Personality.
Which is, by the way, I love that because that's not a WWE song.
No.
Because that's an actual band song, that, like, he could carry that over from WWE to AEW, and so it follows with him, and it's like, yeah, that is CM Punk! That's his theme!
That match was fantastic, too. He hasn't lost a step. For someone who's in his 40s and wrestling again for the first time in 7 years, it was a great showing. It was definitely the right choice for him to win.
For sure.
Everyone around me was pretty good about wearing a mask. I think there were, like, 1 or 2 people who, like, weren't. But, my friend group who I went with, the people around me, they basically kept their mask on the whole time, which is good. Which is fine.
Yeah.
I made sure to get COVID tested after I got back from that event, and I'm negative. It's all fine. It's all good. Return to work this week.
I haven't heard you cough once, so...
I'm kidding.
Oh, God! That wasn't even a cough. That was almost like you got stabbed.
Oh, God. But, I got to see my favorite wrestler, and Clement knows, but I saw him again for the first time in forever.
Yes.
I got to see Kenny again. I'm so happy that I saw him live. I was like, I'll have to send you the video or post it on Twitter sometime. But, like, if you hear me over the video, I'm just sobbing.
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, Kara is going to be wrecked from this pay-per-view, because not only will she be screaming out the top of her lungs so that her voice will be destroyed, but she'll need to moisturize because she will drain all of the tears out of her body by constantly crying.
I did drink a lot of water after that pay-per-view.
I bet.
But, basically that whole entire card was great, minus QT Marshall and, Paul White, which... that was gonna be, like, kind of like a cool-down match anyway, so I don't really count it as being on the card. But from Miro and Eddie Kingston, like, from that match, the action never stopped throughout the whole night.
Yeah.
Even with, like, the women's championship and the Battle Royale, like, constant action. Never stopped. It was probably the most consistent pay-per-view I've ever seen. And that was before the ending.
The 2 reveals, holy moly.
Because it's funny, because Bryan Danielson has been a rumor name for months. Like, we started hearing rumors about him back in, like, July or June, so we knew he was coming soon. And same thing with Adam Cole. Like, we were thinking that because his NXT contract, expired, we were thinking he was going to debut, like, maybe later. After Bryan Danielson, because I think by the time I left Toronto, we knew that Bryan Danielson was a lock-in for All Out. And we kind of assumed that because he's such a big star, and because he carries a lot of brandness to AEW, that Adam Cole probably would wait to debut for a little bit, especially since his contract had run out. I didn't fucking know we were gonna get them both the same night. Are you kidding me?
But I love that moment when we were in Toronto and we were watching wrestling, and there was a CM Punk promo, And the crowd is so into him. The crowd is so into him. They start going, yes, 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 which is the traditional Daniel Bryan chant from the WWE. And CM Punk interrupts them and he goes, I think that's gimmick infringement. I think that's somebody else's shtick. But hey, be patient. Be patient. And it was like, oh, he just confirmed that shit. Holy moly.
I was like, because I'm sorry for almost kicking you when that happened. I was like, wait, he said what? He said what? I had to break my no Twitter rule. For reference, like, when I go to Canada, I try to stay off social media as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I went on Twitter again just to verify that he said what I thought he said, and damn. I love how they framed that segment too, because I noticed when the match with Christian, which by the way was a great match, props to Christian, love him, such an underrated talent. But when that match ended and Kenny grabbed the microphone, he was like, he's amazing and the Elite are great, and I'm like, something's gonna happen. Something's fucking happening.
Yeah.
And Kenny was like, the people who want to challenge me can't because they're not here, too tired, or dead. And then the lights go out. And when the lights went out in that segment, I thought we were getting Bryan Danielson. Everyone was expecting Bryan Danielson. Like, people around my section of the arena were starting yes chants.
Yeah.
The Adam Cole graphic pops up on screen. We're like, wait, what? I just love how they framed that so much. And this theme song starts playing. We're all freaking out. We're like, what the fuck?
And they're playing with words a lot there with the BTE YouTube show.
Yep.
Because the last time Adam Cole was on BTE, he was killed, essentially.
Quote unquote killed.
So when Kenny Omega says that, like, the only people who could beat me are not here, they're too tired, or they're dead. The minute he says dead, Adam Cole shows up.
Yep.
That's really funny.
Yeah, because, like, it was just so unexpected. He shows up and everyone's, like, losing it. We're like, oh my lord. And, I didn't catch it till later when I got home and looked through the footage again, but he came out of the heel tunnel. You know the heel face tunnel thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he comes out of the heel tunnel, and he super kicks Jungle Boy, and then he hugs Matt and Nick, and I'm like, yeah, if you were coming back to AEW, you were gonna be with the Elite. Yeah, I love this. I dig this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they try to sign off for the night one at a time, and then Bryan Danielson shows up.
Which, again, making sure that you definitely knew it was him. Rise of the Valkyries is his theme song. That's public domain. WWE can't claim that song. Like, the pay-per-view was already amazing, but what a way to end that show. And
Ruby Soho, formerly known as Ruby Riott,
right?
In WWE, she debuted too. It was wild because when the Joker card graphic popped up, we were all chanting for Ruby, and then when Ruby showed up, we were all screaming, and we started singing, I don't know if you heard this, we started singing her theme song.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we were like, Destination Unknown, Ruby, 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 Ruby Soho.
So, best pay-per-view you've ever been to?
Yes, I had laryngitis for 5 days because of this pay-per-view.
That's why we didn't talk on Discord, okay.
No. I had, like, the worst case of laryngitis because of this, because I was screaming so much. My voice was, like, fucked up for days. I didn't even think my voice came back 100% until, like, Friday or Saturday of that week. Oh my gosh. But yeah, best pay-per-view I've ever been to. The Fan Fest the day before was fun. I met a ton of wrestlers. It was great. Fun weekend. I haven't been to an AEW show since Revolution last year, and that was also the last wrestling show I went to before the pandemic. So that was fun. I'll be at Dynamite next month in Philly.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So we've had tickets to this for like months. Well, actually, John was going to come with us. So some call me Johnny. So John was going to come with us. So he bought the tickets last year. But scheduling conflicts happened. So it's me and then 2 of my friends that are going to Dynamite now. So yeah. Thank you, John, so much if you're listening to this. Thank you.
You're a great guy, Johnny.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm meeting Kenny Omega in November. Knock on wood.
Oh, you are. And he's going to know who you are.
Oh, dear. Please no.
He's going to be like, I'm a big Mega Man fan. I love the Great Clement's video.
What if he's listening to this right now? Oh no. Oh no.
I love C Squared. I heard you were going to meet me and I got so excited.
Oh no. I don't know if he's listening to this right now. Quick, delete the entire All Out conversation. You're listening to us under a burner. I know it. One of my favorite parts about that weekend that I haven't mentioned yet was I was going to bring a sign to All Out, which I had to change at the last minute. I'm going to bring that original sign idea to Dynamite next month. So the sign that I did end up bringing with help from my friend Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria. It was a sign that said Fix Sonic Colors Ultimate. Which is what we're going to get into now.
But I'll post the sign right now. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Spotify, just take our word for it. It's a fantastic sign. And yeah, earlier this month, Sonic Colors Ultimate came out. And what should have been a pretty fantastic re-release, what should have been a squeaky clean, yeah, Sonic, yeah, that should be fun, turned into a, oh god, Sonic, not again. Not again, Sonic, not again. Oh no. It turned into a bit of a disaster when the game launched.
I feel like my sign is justified.
Ooh.
It's not the worst Sonic game ever, don't get me wrong.
No.
Like, I'd still rather play this over Forces and 06 and Lyric.
For sure.
You know? But, I think for me personally, it was more disappointing than bad.
Yeah.
And I just want to get this distinction out there. Like, it was more disappointing for me than, like, a train wreck. Like, the game is still playable. The game is fine. I feel like some of the presentation decisions could have been ironed out better, especially on Switch.
All across the board, for sure. Because I definitely had my issues playing on PlayStation 4, which I'll get into.
Yeah. Like, the writing's still fantastic. Like, I love the Sonic Colors writing, for the record. Like, the script was fine. They didn't change anything. Still laughed at all the PA announcements and all of Sonic's chokiness. Like, that was still fine. It's mostly just, the presentation for me. That was pretty much it.
So I got Sonic Colors Ultimate on PlayStation 4, and I actually got it a little bit earlier than most people because I forgot. I didn't read the fine print. I didn't realize I was paying an extra $10. I should probably pay attention to these things, but I just pre-ordered the game because I just wanted the digital version, because I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to get it, and that'll be that. But I didn't realize I got the digital edition, which means that it comes out a little bit earlier than most people, and it's a little more expensive, because that's a dumb video game practice I don't like. Mm-hmm. I don't like the fact that some people get the game early if they pay extra. And you know what? If I am going to get it early, then I damn well want the game to be absolutely 100% without patches, you know?
Right. Because that was the thing that made me make the sign for AEW. Because, like, I was seeing all these glitches. Now, like, some of the glitches turned out to be from an emulator and was completely blown out of proportion. But from watching videos from trusted people in the community that I can definitely vouch for in terms of their honest opinions on Sonic, I just found some of the presentation issues and the gameplay issues to be kind of unacceptable.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, all this is happening before a day one patch, or before you release a game. Like, it's kind of concerning too.
It really solidified that once again, Sega was more preoccupied with getting this game out than actually making sure that it was ready to come out, which was the big major problem of Sonic 06, the big major problem of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. And when you see that Sega is still doing that kind of thing, even today in 2021, it's like, oh my god, Sega, just wait until the game's finished, for Christ's sake. Mm-hmm. Just wait until it's ready to go. We can... You know, despite the fact that we're Sonic fans and that Sonic will be out of here in 3 minutes, we're patient. We're patient people, you know? We can
nice
wait.
Sonic CD reference.
That's my favorite thing about Sonic CD, just the fact that if you don't touch the controller for 3 minutes, Sonic will go, I'm out of here, and he just leaves and game over. Game's over. That's actually something that happens in Sonic CD.
That happened to me when I was a kid. Quick aside. That happened to me when I was a kid because, like, I was in Title Tempest and my mom called me upstairs to get a snack that she made. So I went upstairs to the kitchen and I got my snack. 3 minutes passed and he's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, wait, what? Huh? So that's how I found out about that.
Sonic, where are you going? Why would you abandon me? Oh, no. But, yeah, I played it on PS4, so I can't vouch for the Switch's issues. I can't talk about what the Switch problems are. You could probably get into that more than I can.
Yeah.
I will say, though, the presentation of even the PlayStation 4 version was really not up to snuff, because right off the bat, the full motion video, the cutscenes, like all of the cutscenes are running at a worse frame rate than the Wii original.
Uh-huh. I can vouch for that on Switch.
And I know for sure that's the case because I've played the Wii original like earlier this year. Earlier this year in like July, I played through Sonic Colors again. I've seen this footage a million times. I know how the cutscenes animate. I know how fast they usually are. I've seen the opening and all that stuff. And just like the PS4 version's cutscenes, the frame rate is just, it's less for some reason. It's not even what the Wii version is. And I know that they just basically took the Wii's cutscenes and put them onto this new one. They didn't bother remaking them from the ground up. They didn't reanimate the cutscenes or anything. They just took the Wii ones and upscaled them. Fine. They upscaled old cutscenes. That's fine. Still looks pretty good for me in terms of visual fidelity. I don't care about the visuals of the cutscenes. I just care about the frame rate. I don't know why the frame rate is slower than it is in the original Wii version, because sometimes the cutscenes are just choppy and jittery, and they really shouldn't be.
I ran into that too.
Like, you're watching the opening cutscene where, like, the wisps are flying past Sonic, and, you know, the CG opening cutscene, and it's like, for some reason, even that is just very stuttery and very choppy. And I'm just like, I know this cutscene runs better. I know I've seen this cutscene run better.
It does, because, like, when I booted up the game, the wisps would stutter in. That's what happened on my Switch. And my Switch is pretty recent. But the wisps would stutter in, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Of all the things that definitely should be running smoothly, videos. Pre-rendered videos should probably be running smoothly, because if they're choppy, I don't know what you're doing wrong. But, and again, I don't claim to be a video game developer. I don't want to be a dick about it. I just don't understand why it's in this state. And
right.
Then again to the game, and I'll be honest, I didn't hate the experience of Sonic Colors Ultimate at all. You know,
no.
The gameplay was pretty much what I remembered it being. I mean, you said you had issues with the stiffness of the jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
Personally, I felt it was pretty identical to the Sonic Colors that I knew. It didn't feel that different from me.
It might have been the Switch copy, but I remember that Sonic controlled more freely. That might be something I have to go back to the Wii on. I don't know. Something just felt like off.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For the PS4 version anyway, I know the Switch version isn't, but the PS4 version is 60 frames, and that is very different to be playing Sonic Colors with a faster frame rate in gameplay. Like, the cutscenes are a worse frame rate, but the gameplay actually was a better frame rate, and that was different, that was unique, that was fresh. I didn't find any of the, like, the lighting or the way everything was upscaled and brought to HD, I didn't find it distractingly different. Like I found when I was running through Tropical Resort and Aquarium Park and all these levels, they looked pretty fine to me. I didn't notice anything that was like, oh, this should be better lit, or oh, this sign looks stupid, or oh, this was better. Didn't have a problem with how it looked visually. Except when you start getting to the actual animation quirks and the bizarre fucking glitches. Like, I don't know if this happened to you on the Switch, but every time you start up Starlight Carnival Act 3, which is the trampoline bouncy level, Sonic would float downwards from the sky in his, like, getting ready to run animation, and then he would, like, get going as soon as he hit the ground. It was so weird.
Okay, that didn't happen to me.
Okay, because that's definitely something on the PlayStation version, because it happened 100% of the time. 100% of the time. He would just, like, float in from the sky and just, like, start running in. It was like, why the hell did that happen?
I will tell you about this funny glitch. So, like, I think it was Sweet Mountain, in one of the 2D sections before you reach the ring, like the goal. like I did a thing, like a bouncy thing, and for some reason Sonic just went up to the ceiling. And I moved him over to the goal and it still counted. I'm like, what? What happened?
When I was in Asteroid Coaster Act 2, there's like this one dash pad that is way stronger than it used to be. Just so much stronger than it used to be. So like Sonic, I went onto the dash pad, and instead of like going forward along the path and hitting the ramp and just going to my destination, I hit the ramp so fucking hard that I launched off of it. I didn't even jump or anything. I just launched right off the ramp. And then he fell into the bottomless void, into the bottomless pit, and died. And I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen.
That happened to me too.
Oh, good.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because like Sonic missed where I was supposed to go, and he fell. I'm like, what the fuck? I had a Tails on me where I could like spawn back to that original spot, but...
The new features I could take or leave. See, the Tails thing, I know there's a lot of controversy and a lot of anger about the Tails thing, because there's some people who want like that pure challenge, that pure unadulterated challenge where it's like, I don't want him to save me, why can't I turn him off?
Oh.
And to me, it's just like, it's just a live system, really. Tails is basically a live system, only the difference is he lets you keep your rings. So like, if you fall into a bottomless pit and you have like 300 rings, you'll keep your 300 rings when you respawn, and all the items will respawn too. Like, you can collect red rings and regular rings over and over and over again, so long as you fall down a pit, respawn with Tails, you can just keep getting more points from those rings by recollecting them over and over again, so that's kind of funny. That's one way you can cheese the S rank. But I didn't care because usually the points in which Tails dropped you off was very close to where you died, and I didn't want to redo tons of sections, and I liked the fact that I kept my rings, and it helped me play through the game a lot quicker, so I was just like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
The Metal Sonic races were there. There are 6 of them. You unlock them every time you get half of the red rings of one particular world. And I heard some people had issues with the Metal Sonic races, but I've been playing Sonic Colors since 2010. I've been replaying that game over and over again, that I just kind of understand that level design, and I've sped through that game a lot. That I didn't really find the Metal Sonic races to be that bad, personally.
Okay.
There's cosmetic outfit things where you can make Sonic's shoes different designs and different kind of gloves, and I'll be honest, I didn't really take advantage of this all that much because I kind of just like Sonic how he is. I like his default design, and I feel like when you change his shoes golden or you make his gloves like black and green, it just kind of looks like kind of off, and it doesn't fit his character at all, and it doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really use the cosmetics all that much. Even the only thing I would have changed would be like the boost color, where like you can change whether you have like a red trail or a blue trail or a rainbow trail or a dark energy trail or whatever.
Right.
People who pre-ordered the game got the movie skin, where you can make Sonic look like he has movie quills and electricity, like he's from the Ben Schwartz movie, the 2020 movie. So, if you want movie Sonic, that's a thing.
I got a movie Sonic keychain with my order.
Ooh. Have you attached it to your keychain?
No.
Okay, then.
Just straight up no.
Good to know. And the Jade Wisp was a wisp. It was a wisp. They actually rearranged some of the levels so that you can't get certain red rings the way you did in the Wii version, because they've actually changed the level design where you need the Jade Wisp in order to pass through a wall in order to get to that red ring now. So it's just a thing where like you lock onto a target and then the Jade Wisp goes to it. It's not the most amazing wisp in the world. It's nothing mind-blowing like, oh man, I want to find the Jade Wisp. It's just an extra wisp that changed the level design a bit, you know. For the most part, I didn't have a problem with the gameplay. I had some weird hiccups where things wouldn't load in correctly. Things would flash constantly. Sonic's animations were borked. The audio was a big problem because that sound would cut out all the fucking time.
Yeah, like when I would get to the results screen, sometimes the music just wouldn't play.
Yeah. I would activate like a drill wisp, and instead of like doing, 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 it was just nothing. You just didn't hear a single thing. And sometimes the wisp music wouldn't kick in. Sometimes you do the wisp ability, and then the music would just shut off. Like, I'm just running through Sonic Colors with no music. And it's like, where'd the music go? Okay. And another thing some people might not like about the music, there are remixes for every single track in the game, including the vocal tracks. So, like, when the opening of the game even started, like, Reach for the Stars is a different song. It's not the same song from the Wii version. It is remixed, and it does sound different. And again, big criticism is that you cannot keep the original music. You have to have the remixed music. Because, like, here's what they did. They have the original 3 tracks in there still for every single zone, but they also remix those tracks so that every single act has a unique song. So, like, in Act 4, you will hear the original Planet Wisp theme.
Yep.
But in Act 1, you're going to hear the remix. And you can't turn that off. Like, that's just how the game is built. You cannot replace the music. It's always going to be a new song every single act with 3 new remixes. And there's just nothing you can do about that. If you like the original music from the original Wii version, you can't replace it. You can't go back to the way it was. And that includes the vocal tracks where Reach for the Stars, Speak from Your Heart, those end credits and opening theme songs are forever remixed, and you can't even get the original version of Reach for the Stars anymore. That original version's just gone. You have to listen to the remix. You have to listen to the new Speak with Your Heart remix. You can't change that. And I found some of the remixes were okay. You know, some of them sounded pretty cool, but I felt like there was a lot of times where Planet Wisp especially, I feel like Act 1 starts off so much better in the Wii version because the way Act 1 builds up is it's all piano. The
I agree.
And you start off in this big grassy field. It's just a lovely, beautiful planet. You're running through the grass, and then you get closer and closer to Eggman's construction site, and that's when the guitars start kicking in and like you feel the incorporation of something unnatural coming into this piano music, and it feels like a blending of mechanical and nature kind of being forced together. You know, I thought the music was harmonious in that way. It was actually really, really satisfying. Like, yeah, that's a great musical choice. But now you get to the remixed version in Sonic Colors Ultimate, and it's already going a little too hard in Act 1, you know? Where, like, already the guitars are out.
It was just so, like, off-putting to me.
Yeah.
I guess it's because I'm so used to, like, the original, but...
Well, it's like, you know, we didn't ask for all these additions. It's like every time people go, we want this on this console, we want this on this console, we want Sonic Unleashed to come back. Bring back Sonic Unleashed. It hasn't been on a console since the 360 PS3. Well, guess what? If Unleashed were to come back today, there might be tons of remixes. There might be cosmetic things for the Werehog. There might be, I don't know, an extra mode where you get to play as Tails for a small little section or something. I don't know. Or Chip. It feels like, you know, that's things that people don't ask for. They're like, oh, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. What are you doing? What are you doing? I can only speak for the PS4 version, and I don't think the PS4 version was a train wreck.
No.
But it is still very much a case of, like, you knew that this game was going to come out in this month. Why didn't you make sure it was ready? Why didn't you make sure that it was good to go? Why did you confirm this date instead of later? And it's the kind of thing that, like, destroys confidence of, like, is Sonic Origins going to be a bad port too?
Yeah, like, I'm nicer to Sega and Sonic than most people are online. Like, when Forces came out, I wasn't as, like, outraged as some people were. I have very complex feelings on Sega, Sonic Team, and the fan base itself, which, oh dear God, if I went into that right now, this podcast would be like 5 or 6 hours. But, but the point being is that, like, a lot of Sonic fans feel, you know, distrust in Sega lately, just because of how Rise of Lyric and Forces and, you know, like, you know, all those games went.
Yeah.
And you have you have the new Sonic game coming out next year. Hopefully. And for Sonic Colors Ultimate to come out in the state that it did, it's just kind of ruining that the consumer distrust more.
Yeah.
So I see, like, so many people online who are like, well, we shouldn't trust Sega releasing a trailer ever again, you know? And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is really the attitude people are having. Oh my gosh.
Sonic discourse fucking sucks. I hate
sucks.
reading what people have
it.
to say about Sonic, whether positive or negative. I just hate reading it now.
I can't.
It's the worst.
If Sega's trying to build consumer trust going into the next Sonic game, this doesn't help. It really doesn't. And I'm someone who's nice to them. Oh my gosh.
Again, it's like, I'm fine with the game. Like, I didn't have that train wreck of an experience, but what I'm not fine with is that, once again, it's more ammo for the reasons why the Sonic franchise sucks, and more ammo for the negative discourse that is just like, fuck, you should have got this right, man. You should have got this right.
I think you nailed it perfectly, Clement, because it does add to that negative discourse. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Forces isn't that bad, but people think it's the end of the world for some reason. You know, I don't know why. There've been worse Sonic games. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I always find it amusing when there are Sonic fans who are like, children wouldn't like Sonic Forces. Okay.
Oh yeah, like every single child that I've talked to about Sonic love Forces.
And you're a teacher, for the record.
And I'm a teacher. Like, every single child I've talked to, whether it was in school or my cousins, like, when they talk about Sonic, they always talk about how much they love Forces. And their favorite part consistently has been the avatar creator.
Yeah.
Consistently across the board. They love making their characters. One of my students drew one of them for me one time. And, you know, like, it just...
It's like those same people who will say that, like, kids could never enjoy Sonic Forces are the same people trying to convince me that Sonic 06 was good, actually. I'm just saying, you grow up with something, you get used to it, and then it becomes good in your mind. If 06 is acceptable for children, like you guys seem to think it is, that the loading times were fine, and the bad boss design was fine, and all this other stuff was fine, so that it was actually underrated, and people give it too much shit, and it's not actually that bad, and it actually had heart, and it's actually all this, then why the fuck are you telling me that Sonic Forces couldn't possibly garner that same kind of support when Forces is an actual better game?
Hold on, Buckaroo. Hold on, man. Hold on, partner.
This is what happens when you set me off. I'm sorry. You can like 06 if you want, but Jesus. People were excited for it, and then it came out, and then everyone was just shitting all over it, and it was just...
Because, like, it's frustrating, because I think Sega knows. I really hope they're aware of how much negative discourse Sonic gets online in the first place. And you have all these people, like, the glitches are real. There's some glitches that are real. But then there's some people who take advantage of that situation with all the glitches and presentation issues that Colors Ultimate had, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna run this game through an emulator, and I'm gonna have all these glitches. I'm just tired. Like, I love things other than Sonic nowadays. It's why I was like, fix Sonic Colors Ultimate, because, like, this isn't helping your case. People already shit on Colors. This just makes it worse.
Yeah.
And I say this as someone who loves the original Wii version. Come on, y'all.
I actually thought about that, and I was just like, man, the discourse is even going to be worse, because it was already a game that was polarizing, where people were like, oh, it's a baby game for babies. It's not actually that good. It's overrated. But now it's like, well, if anyone's going to check out Sonic Colors, they're not going to dust out their Wii. They're not going to shell out $200 to buy an old Wii to play the original version. They're going to buy the new one, the Ultimate version, which has more issues than the original version. So now Sonic Colors discourse is going to be about that Ultimate version and how it is bad, therefore Sonic Colors is bad. And it's like, there's some legitimate criticisms you could have about Colors, but now I don't even know if you can have this criticism because this was the Ultimate Edition and not the original edition. And it's like, it's so confusing now.
And that's why I kept telling you this game is so frustrating, because I kept texting you, like, this is so frustrating to play, because I know I love Colors. Like, yeah. I defend that game a lot. And to just play through it and to just have felt worse playing through this than the Wii version is just so deflating. And I'm like, this discourse is gonna suck ass.
I can't wait for Sonic fans to constantly bitch about their games and then get mad when IGN says the games are bad.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh.
But, that's all I'm saying. And, again, it's not a train wreck. I still think if you want to play Sonic Colors, maybe get the PlayStation or Xbox or Steam versions, because apparently the Switch version's a real dumpster fire. But,
it's Kaka.
But not even a dumpster fire. It's like you said, it's playable, right?
It's playable. Like, it's perfectly playable. I just think it's...
Yeah. Hey, but once again, another Sonic title, another disappointing element for the fan base.
That's horrible. That is so horrible.
It's so funny because I'm not even one of those doomer Sonic fans, because for me, I've enjoyed the majority of Sonic's output. I like Team Sonic Racing. The online was borked, and the online should have been better, but I thought Team Sonic Racing got way too much shit. I thought that game was really fun. The soundtrack was incredible. I'm glad that game exists, and I'm glad I played it. 2017 was not a bad year for me in terms of Sonic. You know why? Because Sonic Mania existed, and it doesn't matter if Forces was disappointing, because Mania is one of the best Sonic games of all time, and that was a good year as far as I'm concerned.
But no, that's just that. No, that's a fan game, though.
Oh, right.
It wasn't actually Sega that made it themselves. Come on.
You're right. And even like 2016 Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, I thought was a pretty decent game. Like, I felt like the majority of the games that have come out have been pretty good. It's just people get hung up on Forces and people get hung up on Sonic Colors, and those are the big mainstream 3D.
I just think, you know what I think of? I think of that meme where it's the guy on the ship and he's like, first time.
Oh, for sure. Carol, I was there in the GameFAQs message board era of like 2005, 2006, when Shadow and 06 were bad, and I remember even back then there were people who were like, Sonic Adventure 2, I would like it if I could just play a Sonic and Shadow. I don't like the mech levels. I don't like the treasure hunting levels. Like, those games were getting shit on even in the early 2000s. I was there. I know for a fact that was a thing. It isn't because of Game Grumps. It wasn't Ego Raptor or Pro Jared or Johnny or whoever that ruined Sonic Adventure 2's reputation, okay?
It wasn't?
People have had these issues since the game released, okay?
Yeah.
It's always been a polarizing game, good lord. And one day we'll do that Sonic podcast, I promise.
I know.
But Carol, while you were getting ready for AEW, I was playing a game that I purchased back in Toronto because I picked up the newest version of No More Heroes. I got No More Heroes 3 for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And it was a return to form for sure. I mean, I won't say it's the best game in the series. It's not my favorite in the series. I don't think it's like the revolutionary, oh my god, No More Heroes has never been better. I don't know if I'd say that, but it was nice to come back to this universe, to come back to Travis Touchdown and Sylvia and Shinobu and all these characters that are so wacky and so out there and so badass, and to see that Suda51 sense of humor again, because oh my god, I have not seen cutscenes like this in a long time of video gaming.
Yeah.
And it's so overly self-indulgent and referential and gory and just like all these things that you think of when you think of the original No More Heroes games. And yeah, it was something else. I guess my major issues with No More Heroes 3 is that I feel like it definitely doesn't have the budget that it should. It definitely feels like a game that was chopped together and assembled with what they had, and if they had a bigger budget or more time, they probably would have made a more epic, more amazing No More Heroes experience. Once again, you know, Travis has to rise through the ranks of the League of Assassins in order to become the ultimate assassin, except instead of taking on normal people, normal assassins, he is taking on extraterrestrial aliens who have invaded the Earth. Mm-hmm. I love the villain of No More Heroes 3 because he's this little alien guy. Like, this is the backstory. This is the opening cutscene, so this isn't a spoiler. This is like the opening cutscene of the game. this alien named Fu lands on Earth, and he's like this little fuzzball. He's just this white, furry, circular little, "Hey, I'm Fu. How are you doing? La la la." Like, he wouldn't be out of place in like Monster Rancher or Pokemon or something like that. He would absolutely be a Digimon.
Yeah.
Fu befriends this little kid named Damon, and they kind of assemble a rocket ship with technology information that he gives him by like implanting the blueprints into his brain or whatever. And so he builds a rocket ship and he gets Fu off of the planet. And one of the things that's very meme worthy with Fu is he always says, "Damon, I love you." 20, 30 years later, Damon is now in charge of a giant mega corporation. He's now like this rich billionaire type. And Fu has gotten a lot more muscular and a lot taller. And his first thing he says when he comes back is, "Damon, I love you!" And then he proceeds to start destroying the planet because he's a conqueror and he wants to conquer the planet, much to Damon's chagrin.
Yeah.
And so, in order to combat the aliens, they established the Intergalactic League of Assassins. And who's a better assassin than Travis Touchdown? He has to go cut up all these aliens, beat them up, and save the world like a proper superhero.
But of course.
And this game gets crazy because fucking Travis has like Gundam robot mecha suits.
Yo.
And he literally will go like Genshin, and then he'll just like slap on this big jetpack like fucking Gundam robot thing. And there are like boss fights where you fight in outer space and you actually like blow up aliens in outer space and stuff. But at the same time, it's very what you expect from No More Heroes. You have your beam katana. You have to shake your Joy-Con in order to charge it up, which kind of looks like Travis is masturbating.
Oh, God.
Like, seriously, he does the animation where he literally puts the beam katana where his crotch is, and he just goes, starts shaking it.
Oh my gosh.
You'd love No More Heroes, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I always wanted to play it. It's just backlog.
The boss fights are really fun. The boss fights are very satisfying. The only thing I wish No More Heroes 3 had that 1 and 2 do is that I wish they had those long sequences where you just went through wave after wave of enemies. Because like what they've done with No More Heroes 3 is that you now have like all these preliminary like certification matches where you have to fight in these arenas, these little boxed arenas with certain enemy types before you're allowed to go take on the boss. And so what you find with every chapter is that you get into like arena fight, arena fight, arena fight, arena fight, then boss. Arena fight, arena fight, arena fight, arena fight, then boss. And you get introduced to like pretty much every major enemy type in the first 3 hours that you don't really see new enemies. You just see new layouts of those enemies, new combinations of those enemies. And so some people might find that a little bit repetitive. The combat's like enjoyable and it's definitely challenging. I actually thought the preliminary matches were actually more challenging than the bosses themselves. So it will test your skill and you're probably going to die a lot like I did.
Yeah.
For some it might get a little repetitive and I kind of wish it had those moments where you did run through the schools or run through the baseball stadium, cutting off people's heads and watching their fucking necks just spurt out blood like a faucet. Like, there were just some amazing moments in the old No More Heroes games where you just went on a path of destruction and just everyone exploded into viscera and gore.
Yeah.
And that's not so much a thing in No More Heroes 3 because you're taking on specific alien arena fights. But there are other issues, where like I wish he had more weapons. I wish it wasn't just the one beam katana because even in No More Heroes 2, you could alternate between like different beam katanas and dual beam katanas where you could hold 2 at a time and stuff like that. And they've kind of simplified it so that he only has the one weapon. He has some like new special abilities where he's allowed to like freeze time and he's allowed to instantly warp to someone and drop kick them.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestling moves in No More Heroes. You constantly give people German suplexes.
Yes.
And it's a satisfying enough game. It's not my favorite in the series, just because I wish there was more crazy beat 'em up stuff. I wish the graphics were a little bit better. I think the original Wii games are a little more stylish, honestly.
Okay.
But in terms of writing and in terms of like presentation, voice acting, like, oh, it's a No More Heroes game for sure. It absolutely is a No More Heroes game. Like, goddamn. You just have Travis literally swearing, cursing out the top of his lungs, calling everyone a dumb motherfucker.
Oh my god. I've seen clips of the series where I saw its writing, and like when I do, I chuckle at that.
It's not my game of the year. It's not even my favorite No More Heroes game. But it was fantastic coming back to this universe. The boss fights are so fun. And one thing I love about No More Heroes 3 is that you go into your laboratory in the bottom of your base, and you can refight any of the bosses whenever you want. So on my master save file, if I just want to do a boss rush and just go through each individual boss over and over and over again, I can do that, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ideal way to play No More Heroes, I think. And I can't say any more without getting into big spoilers. So, yeah. A lot of crazy shit happens in No More Heroes 3. You definitely want to see what the final boss fight especially. I'm not going to spoil what happens. I'm not going to say what happens. But the final boss fight of No More Heroes 3 is amazing.
Well, I look forward to getting that in 20XX when I get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, when you play through the entire No More Heroes series, you know.
Yeah. It'll happen. Eventually.
For sure. For sure. And the only thing I have left to talk about for this particular podcast is that they just revealed the newest trailer for The Matrix.
Ooh.
Because after 18 years since Matrix Revolutions, they have announced a fourth Matrix movie, The Matrix Resurrections, and the trailer was the best thing ever. I am in love with that trailer. Even if the movie turns out to be shit, I love that trailer to death. And it took me back to being a teenager. It took me back to being a big Matrix diehard when I was in high school. Holy shit.
I haven't seen the Matrix movies myself, but I do want to watch them with you sometime. Because it is on HBO Max.
Yeah. So we can watch them anytime, and I feel like we definitely gots to. Because Carol, you don't understand. The Matrix was so fucking important to me when I was in high school, you know? I had the DVD box set where I had all the movies and the great making of movies where, like, the making of The Matrix, like The Matrix Revisited, I think it's called, is a fantastic documentary. Like, holy shit. If you ever wanted to see how a movie gets made, that is like one of the best making of documentaries I think I've ever seen. I love rewatching even just that movie. It's so damn good. And the Animatrix, and I played Enter the Matrix, the video game, and the video game was a special thing because, like, they filmed unique, exclusive video game scenes with, like, the movie cast and the movie sets and everything because they knew that, like, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix 3, and the game were all supposed to be their big trilogy, triple experiment, triple multimedia project at the time, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like, the Wachowskis definitely believed in the power of video gaming, and Enter the Matrix is a really unique... It's not a great game. It's not great. It's not great, but I love the fact that it's basically Matrix 2.5. It is a movie in between the two movies for the video game, for your GameCube and your PlayStation 2 and your Xbox, and that's really admirable and different, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
But I loved the music. Like, devotees may remember that when I did my Mega Man boss rushes, I used Matrix music a lot in the boss rushes because for Mega Man 7, I had the Burly Brawl of Matrix Reloaded, and for Mega Man X5, I had the final battle of the third movie for the boss rush. So I've been a Matrix fan for a long, long time. And I always loved those movies. And I always loved that universe. And when I saw the Matrix Resurrections trailer, I was cynical going in.
Aw.
You know, because I'm 33. It's the year 2021. And Star Wars let me down.
Aw, yeah. We don't talk about Star Wars.
And Indiana Jones let me down. And all these movie sequels let me down, And I hear like, oh, we're making a fourth Matrix movie, even though the third one ended so definitively. I'm like, well, that's just a cash grab. Why would they need to make a fourth Matrix movie? I don't know. This will be dumb. This is just going to be nothing interesting. Trailer starts, looks like the old movies. Like the cinematography and the colors, everything looks like the old movies, which is like, ooh. Mm-hmm. Keanu Reeves looks great in the movie. The premise of the plot and everything, I was just like, ooh. And then they have like this big montage in the last half of that trailer that's like action scenes combined with White Rabbit as well as the Matrix score. And the Matrix score takes you back when you hear those fucking violin strings and everything. And it's like, oh! I watched that trailer over and over and over and over again. And then I watched a whole bunch of YouTubers react to it over and over and over again.
Did they like it?
Oh, everyone's excited. This fucking trailer was great.
Oh, that's good. Good to hear.
Like, people are very down on the Matrix sequels, like 2 and 3. They think the first movie is like the best one, and the sequels were just kind of disappointing. To some extent, I agree with that, but I think the second one's a fantastic movie. I think the third one is fine. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's just fine. And this looks more closer to what the original movie was, but obviously continuing the story and made in 2021 with better visual effects, better stunt work, better everything. It looks so fucking cool. And I feel like a dumb, bumbling teenager again. I feel like a dumb, idiot kid again, but I'm just excited for something. I haven't been excited for something like this in a long, long time. And that trailer's fucking kick-ass, and I'm so looking forward to Matrix Resurrections, which comes out later this Christmas this year. Holy shit.
So that's plenty of time for us for me, to get caught up on Matrix stuff.
Just,
Well, that's super exciting that you're excited for it. I love seeing that from, like, other fandoms.
I wasn't expecting to be excited. I thought I was going to watch that trailer and be like, okay, that's unnecessary. Alright, a fourth Matrix movie, whatever. But,
well,
fuck. You hear those music, you see those stunts, and you're just like, I'm back. Let's rewatch The Matrix.
I'm down.
I'm gonna replay the Enter the Matrix game at some point. I don't know why, I just want to.
Okay. At least you are not an Avatar fan. As in the James Cameron movie.
No, I can't say I loved Avatar. Even when I saw it in theaters day one, I was just like, okay, that's a movie.
It was... Because, like, everyone around me was like, oh my gosh, you gotta watch Avatar. Carrie, you gotta watch Avatar. And I'm like, I only know Avatar The Last Airbender. What is Avatar? And they were like, the James Cameron movie. I'm like, okay, I'll go see it. And it was...
It's probably my least favorite James Cameron movie.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's a bad movie or anything. I don't think Avatar's terrible. It's just, compared to Aliens, compared to the Terminator movies, compared to Titanic, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Avatar's just kind of mid. It's mid.
And apparently there are, like, more Avatar sequels coming.
I've heard that for a decade. I've heard that since the first movie came out. I heard there was supposed to be like an Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What was the wild thing I saw the other day? Hold on.
The only thing we've gotten recently was that Ubisoft is making a new Avatar game.
Now?
Yes, now, in the year 2021, they are making a new Avatar game.
I knew this was announced. I'm just like, now? Like, they're saying Avatar 2 is going to come out in 2022. There's no trailer. Where's the trailer? Where's the fucking trailer for this movie? And they're like, Avatar 3 is going to come out 2 years later. Like, they have this wild, like, I guess, decade-long timeline for when the new Avatar movies are coming out. My only theory on that is that they've probably been filming it all at once and they're just going to release it. That's my only theory. But I don't particularly care for the Avatar movies. So I'm not gonna watch them. It's just me though.
I got my fill from the first movie, and I'm just like, okay, that was a movie. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. It just was middle of the road for me. So, yeah, I don't care about Avatar. I don't care enough about Avatar, nor do I want to support Ubisoft, so...
Yeah.
Hey.
Ay.
Well, Caro, it's been a good 2 hours. I feel like we had a fantastic discussion.
Oh yeah, I feel like we made it for a lot of time, especially like since we were kind of off in August.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a great episode of C Squared. Oh my gosh. It was awesome. And now if you excuse me, I am going to prepare for the biggest gaming event of the year, which is Deltarune Chapter 2.
Right!
Tonight!
Deltarune Chapter 2 drops tonight.
Yes!
Holy shit. 3 hours!
So excited. Got my laptop ready to download it.
Obviously, we're going to talk about this in the next C Squared,
Yep.
But goddamn, I've been waiting for the sequel/follow-up to Deltarune for a long, long time. Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, thank you for listening to C Squared, whether it's on Spotify or YouTube, wherever you're watching or listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to us. Like, we were gone for a bit, but hopefully we satiated your listening needs. Because we make a great team, right, Clement? Right?
Absolutely. We're the dynamic duo of YouTube.
Aw.
We are building up all of the charisma of YouTube and putting it all into this podcast. And anyone who listens to us knows that their minds have been rocked. Their world transformed. Their pants soiled. So, until next time, everybody, I am the Great Clement.
And I am Caro.
And we shall see you next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.